Nigga, I thought your ass was gonna say some other shit.
I'm sorry, man. You know how it's gonna rock, man. You know what we about to get into.
Alright, now, you've seen Chris before on Untitled Discussion. He sits down and talks to me time to time. But the new addition is Aaron. This is the first time on the show with us. Chris, he handles fitness, and Aaron, he's in there with finances. But we're gonna have a conversation about the high value man. This is something that we hear from time to time again, and we have certain individuals and figures on social media like Kevin Samuels and the podcast Fresh and Fit, mediocre tutorials. There's a there's a lot of individuals who are quote unquote having a red pill moment and dignifying or actually putting a label on what is a high value man. Me, I have an issue with the term high value man because I feel that it's redundant. I believe that a man is someone with high value because the key word in that term is value. Mm-hmm. High value. A man has to have value. He shows that he has value with the things that he does, and also he has values, morals, ethics, principles, right. Things to stand on. But when you hear the term high value man, what do you think about, Aaron? Since this is your first go at it, I want you to take it away.
I mean, you kind of touched on it a lot right there. Like, the things that are valuable, hopefully you're not basing it off of, like, oh, what's valuable that a woman looks at, because that has nothing to do with it. It's about, like, basic life principles. Mm. Does the nigga keep his word when he say something, like we was talking about? Yes. Do the niggas keep their word when they say something? Do they stand for what they believe in? Whatever that thing is that they believe in, do they stand on that shit, or do they falter under whatever pressure it may be? And they make sacrifices. But I think even like there are some tangible things that I think certain measurable things that matter as well. Like, are you a nigga, like, do you handle your business? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you got your own shit. You know what I mean? Or are you, like, that shit matters to an extent. I know not everybody sort of goes through whatever times, whatever, you know, you had a rough situation, you couch surfing right now, whatever the case may be. Does that take away from your value? That's kind of a iffy situation right there, because it's like all of us have been there before, where we was fucked up and we at our homeboy's house or whoever's house. So does that mean that nigga's not high value now because his situation? So I don't think his situation necessarily dictates it, but it does have something to do with, like, if you, because I like accountability. So like when we was talking about,
I like dealing with accountability. That's one of the major things that I always talk about.
Everything that you do is what led you to where you are. It's not about, I don't really like to blame outside circumstances. So like me, no matter what happens, like I'm always going to be like, what did I do in this situation that led to whatever? Why, what could I have done better to make whatever better? So amongst those basic principles of keeping your word, you know, standing on something that you believe in, I also do believe that someone who's handling business, they're earning enough income to support themselves, because your income matters. Income matters. This is the world we live in. So income, are you able to, you know, like having a crib, whether it be an apartment or a house, understands that you at least know how to budget a little bit, you know how to handle your finances. It's like basic responsibilities.
And that was the thing that I had an issue with dealing with the term high value, was because, and Chris, I wanted to see if you answer this for me, is when it comes down to value, what is value? Is your value dictated by what would you call it? By physical things? Is it dictated by what a woman feels that you are? Is it what is value when it comes down to a man?
So while y'all talking, I had to look up like, all right, what is value? So it really has like two definitions. You know how it has the one and the two. So one definitely means as deserving of importance, merit. You know what I'm saying? In regard to. But then also the other definition is talking about morals, values, things of that nature.
Mm.
What do that person hold? So I think we have to start with having two similar but different definitions. You have to take it into context. So when you talk about Kevin Samuels, what is the context in which he's speaking of a high value man? And I think he's talking more so on the lines of high value into today's society, quote unquote. This today's culture, what we got going on. And what motherfuckers measure high value as of right now with the top tier women or you know what I'm saying? Or
what the fuck a female what female really where she wanna nest at?
Come on.
That's what this is. So are you the nigga that has the shit that a woman that's a 10 would want? She would want somebody that's at least making enough money. Mm-hmm. He has his own place, his own car. But that shouldn't be the only thing. Like obviously those are things that that any man is going to be doing anyway. Mm-hmm. Whether a female sees value in that or not. So that's why I feel you when you what makes it high value and not it's a what you said it's redundant.
Yeah, because it's pretty much a redundant term
anyway.
Because as a man you have certain things that you're supposed to do and to establish your manhood. Mm-hmm. Like you can't just say that you're a man just because that you're an adult man or adult human being with the XY chromosome and you're able to reproduce and even down to just being able to pay a bill. That doesn't make you a man. Mm-hmm. Like there are certain things that you have to do, and one of the major things, because I know we did Royal Family Studios did a documentary and they asked different individuals. I know you was a part of that. Mm-hmm. They asked the group of men, you know, different things that make you a man. What is a man? And one of the major things that always stood out was to be a provider. And that is a major thing, because in order to be a provider, you don't have to be a provider to the point that you're just a millionaire and you're able just to provide money, but also providing time. One of the things that helped me when I was growing up and pretty much kept my head straight was me being able to talk to my dad every day. I just remember asking him a question about things going on, and he was able to help me. He was a man, and if we want to put that term on, a high value man. But that's the thing that I've been seeing in this whole red pill moment that people have, or the MGTOW thing, MGTOW. I think it's men going their own way because they're getting frustrated with the women they're dealing with, especially superficial women. And one of the things that they're doing right now is pretty much saying no to marriage. Mm-hmm. But from what I know and how I was raised and what I've seen in examples being a man, that's one of the things that you have to do. And people,
man, you gotta get married.
Well, he said from
what I see, yeah, from what I've seen. And again, like I see how your pushback was. It was like, so why do I have to do this? And one of the things that we see in the movement that they're going through is that a lot of men are going through, and they're starting to see the marriage thing only benefits women mostly.
Mm-hmm. It's like designed for them. Niggas, like the thing is, niggas need to focus on building their own core up first, building yourself up as an individual of mm-hmm. standards. I think that's kind of what dictates it. And when you rush into, you know, getting married, that really changes the whole dynamic. So like I do think it's a good thing to wait as long as you can. It's to me it does seem like it's weird. Like it really does seem like marriage is just a scam. Like it's literally a sheet of paper. It's a business decision, is what it is.
Yeah.
That mostly benefits the woman. The only thing the man gets out of it is kind of like and this can be expounded upon, but let's just start from the base value of it. The only thing the man gets out of that is a stamp, like a dog pees on a goddamn spot and say this is his territory. Like you have that ego boost to say, all right, this is mine. Nobody can touch this. And everybody has a possessive kind of feeling. Like you get that at times. A man's garage, that's his shit, or his car, or whatever. So we all get that shit. That's something that happens. And I don't like. It just seems like that's just the way it kind of happened. Like the marriage shit. I'm going so farther and farther off of that block because I don't really see where it matters and how it. I guess like how it benefits both parties in an equal way.
Do you feel the same way?
A little bit of both, man. I told you I'm all over the goddamn place.
Word.
I can argue.
You got open minded. Feel the same way.
So when it comes to like, I definitely believe you need a partner in this motherfucker because this world crazy to stand alone. It's almost going into the mindset of like you want to go fast, you go by yourself, but if you want to go far, you go with somebody.
Two pockets is better than four.
Hey, come on, man. So
no, 4 pockets is better than 2. I'm sorry, excuse me.
We knew what you meant.
Yeah, my bad. My bad. Did y'all know what I meant?
Right. But I really do think like shit, it's a reason why you got a man and a woman. It's a pair. It's a reason why you motherfucker went on the boat, man and a woman. I think that there are things you even with the thinking on just how a man think and how a woman think.
Mm-hmm.
You combine that shit together, you can make some shit happen.
Yeah. It's a balance. There's a balance in it.
Hell yeah, because too much testosterone in a situation, that ain't the way to answer. But being too feminine too, that shit ain't it. So I think like, you do need somebody to balance you out in this motherfucker, especially life with so much shit going on.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe in marriage as you need a partner, right?
Yeah.
But what does marriage have to do with the partnership?
So
who the fuck said that the government had to determine that?
Okay, so
let me just I just want to answer this real quick and then I want to get back on. And that's where a lot of people get it misconstrued. A lot of people believe that the government actually has a hand in marriage. The government has no hand in marriage. Marriage is a Christian institution. It's a Judeo-Christian institution. It has nothing to do with the government. The government has no business in marriage at all. The government does not have any business in marriage. I want to make that clear.
Now see that makes it that changes everything.
The government has nothing to do with marriage. But keep going on your point. I'm sorry.
With y'all niggas?
Yeah, there's nothing on them. But keep going.
So with marriage to me, and like I guess in America's term, this shit is a corporation, so it's really a merger of two goddamn companies.
Mm-hmm.
To me, and I want the goddamn right company.
A lot of people see it that way.
But okay, if you think on
a lot of men see it that way. I won't even say people because more men see it as a business than women do. I'm not even gonna put that on women. I'm sorry, I can't.
Women don't see it.
Women do not as much as men do because the simple fact because it's not beneficiary. Wow. Because the only reason why I say that, I'm sorry. The only reason why I say that.
That just happened to the other nigga.
Women see marriage as an opportunity to be tied down or be with this one individual. It's a status thing, yeah, and it's a nesting thing too as well. It's a biological thing. Mm-hmm. That's what they're supposed to do. But men, since the government put their 2 cents in marriage, and since we see how the laws go about and how people have to pay alimony and all this stuff, we see that men, before men even make that step, we see it as half? Like, god dang it, half. Am I ready to do half yet? So we see it as more of a business thing than women do. Women see it as a status thing. They ready to show off their ring.
So, check me.
So that's the only reason why I say that.
And I feel where you coming from. But a wise man once told me, and it's so fucking true. I want you to count, put the scale up. Marriage. When motherfuckers get divorced, how many motherfuckers say I want my love back versus I'm divorcing and I want this amount of money, I want these houses. Mm-hmm. That shit is a business.
Oh no, when it gets down to that's what I'm saying. When it gets down to that point, it's different. Like I'm saying when it first jumps off into it, women don't see it as a business move. But at the end of it, yes, it turns into a business move. But men, we already think
how you end it, bro. So even if, do you think that women are marrying dudes that feel like they don't see any kind of financial gain or any kind of beneficial future for them? They just marrying it.
That's not in a woman's nature because that's part of being a provider and having security. So, there's things that men are supposed to do. Men are supposed to provide. We're supposed to provide security, shelter, love, and whatever else. But we're supposed to provide certain things. So there is lined up to be that way. But
doesn't a good business provide the majority of the things you just said?
Yeah.
Security, shelter. I don't think about the love.
I mean, I understand that, but it's still no. But I'm saying though, it's still in a woman's nature to be like that towards a man. Because men, we look at women for it's part of the balance thing. Men, we look at women to provide things for us as well, but we're supposed to provide a different nature. Like they're supposed to nurture. They're supposed to provide nurture. They're supposed to provide, of course, sex, kids, and all this stuff. Clean home, all that.
They get a kick out of this shit.
It's a different type of providing for each party.
I wouldn't disagree, but in a business, nobody does the same thing. One person got to provide some, another person got to provide some.
That's the only way.
Make that shit work,
it's a balance. Right? Yes, it's a balance.
Same thing. So at the end of the day, something like everything break down to the same thing as one. Like so ultimately, as a man, I'm trying to make my seed go and my name go as far. I'm trying to leave a legacy. You're going to know that I've been here. You're going to know that my family been here, right?
Yes.
I would think that as a man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right? So with a woman, she want preservation. She want to make sure she make with the strongest motherfucker that's going to goddamn perpetuate that type of shit, right?
Yes.
That's business.
That sounds like business to me.
That sounds straight like business.
I mean, when you say it like that, yes, it does sound like business, but I mean, if you want to do anything like that, you can boil anything down to certain things.
And that's
like business, yeah, you can do that. But when at the end of the day, that's still the balance that human beings have to go through. Like when human nature, when human civilization was first established, men and women had to work together in order to survive. That's the only reason why we're still here today in order to have this conversation, because men and women were able to get together and survive and perform certain tasks that the other person wasn't able to perform. Like we have broad shoulders, so we're able to lift heavier things. Women have broad hips, so they're able to bear children. So it's just certain roles that people are. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like I've but whatever. But we still have certain tasks to perform, and that's why we were given these body parts and all that other stuff.
Right.
But when it comes down to marriage, the only reason, just to get back to it, the only reason why I wasn't able to get down with the whole movement that the red pill movement is pushing, because a lot of red pill publishers on YouTube are pushing this, creators are pushing this. It's the whole, because I'm not familiar. It's the whole no marriage thing. That marriage is not helping men, and there's no reason for men to get married.
So what do they propose they do?
Not get married and just
Start
make
business,
money and just do that.
Get money, do whatever.
But I have issues with that for a multitude of reasons.
So you're destroying the nuclear family.
That's my major reason to having the issue with it. Because the only reason why the black community is not able to push forward how we're supposed to is because we have no nuclear family.
No real father figures, no real family structure.
And we feel that we shouldn't be married or anything like that.
But see, that's why I feel like that's the great goddamn. So now I take everything back to just the basic root. That's the greatest trick put on motherfucking black males. That you don't even know that you're supposed to be fathers to the whole goddamn world. You were supposed to lead nations. That's what I ultimately feel.
That's the greatest trick that they have been trying to pull on men in general. That we shouldn't, yeah, all right, but that we shouldn't be on the forefront. We have nothing but women leading us. But why? What? Because we're not able to have kids? That's not our only job is just to make sure we just have kids. We have to be able to lead and teach. And that's the thing that when we talk about marriage and stuff like that, the benefit that men have when we're actually in relationships, when we're actually married, it shows a couple of things. One of the major things that it shows when you're married and you have kids, it shows that you're able to lead. You have to be able to lead. If you're able to lead a strong house, that's why you think the mob, these folks is killers. But you can tell from the movies and stuff like that, these folks was married still, had families. Because that means something. You have to be able to lead. If you can lead a family, you should be able to lead your neighborhood. You should be able to lead a village. So it gives you a status. And it shows that you're able to handle situations how they come. And also, because as a man, we're supposed to be able to sacrifice ourselves for our family. Why? What? How do women know who to choose as their husband? It's usually the one that will be willing to lay down their life for you, just like Christ did for the church.
That's how you're supposed to love your woman.
How Christ did for the church, that you can lay down your life for her.
Facts. Big facts.
You don't get married for you. You get married for her. Because when you die, she gets your stuff. She can be taken care of for the things that you done.
But you know what's so crazy? So, working in the bank, man, you know how many times, like, I connect with older women, and they just living life. They old as hell, but they go, ooh, my husband made sure I was good after he's dead. I'm like, damn, that's some real shit. He was a real ass nigga.
Yeah.
Real man. But that's the man, going back to morals, values, old shit, bro. Like, the old generation did have the shit kind of like on lock as far as mindset when it comes to those things. Being morally strong, morally sound, not easily corrupted. Because y'all motherfuckers go with whatever they post, bro.
Hey, word up. That, and I think that adds to it too. Like, that adds to the value. It's a mindset that a man has as well.
Yeah.
You got to develop that mindset. So I think it is a good thing to hold out on marriage until you're able to develop that mindset.
All right, man, okay.
You need to have a certain way of thinking before you even think about any of that shit. And in order to develop that way of thinking, it may take some experience. They say experience is the best teacher. So it may take experience. Like, you just can't get caught up in the whole, like, you can't just get caught up in the shit, man. That's my thing. Like, I come from a background where, like, they encourage little-ass kids to get married at 18, 19, 20 years old.
Yeah.
They're forcing niggas to jump into this whole role where they don't
Man,
know.
you better in this damn saying, man.
They don't know what the fuck they doing. They don't know nothing.
You know how many STDs out in this motherfucker keep fucking around?
And that goes back to
It ain't even about fucking around though.
Shit, man, look, when you catch them fucking STDs,
You
you start fucking up your reproductive system. Bro, all this shit really like kind of go back to, I don't know, man. Don't let me start talking. I'm sorry, but like I see shit.
That's what you're here to do.
Yeah, like
so just say it.
You right. Just it's hard for me to explain and get my words out.
But because what you're tapping into is what we were talking about earlier when I was telling you, like, I want to shelter my kids. They don't need to be exposed to everything.
Right.
They and what we were talking about earlier, subjective versus objective. There's an objective truth already laid out. You're supposed to do this for this reason and this reason and this reason. It's already been laid out in the book. I won't tell anybody what that book is, but you know what book it is. But it's already laid out in a book that you should walk this way, and there's a reason why you're supposed to do it. How do you categorize what is a high value man? Like I said before, I feel that term is redundant. Mm-hmm. A man is someone with values. A man is someone who sticks to his values. A man is someone who actually,
a man, period.
Yeah, works and makes himself valuable.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the difference between men and women. Women have value because they're born with it. Men, we have to make ourselves valuable. So the term high value man is something that I don't feel that is necessary.
Just be a man.
I believe a man is a man, because value is subjective when you're talking about the people. Like, I believe.
So what do you call a nigga that's living up under the chick and not paying no bills? What do you call that then?
That's not a man.
Yeah. So what's the term? You just
He going through hard times.
He's a big child. He's a big child.
He's a kid. Okay.
Yeah. He's a child.
Baby boy.
Yeah.
Baby boy.
Oh, baby
like he's a burden. A man doesn't do that. A man wouldn't let himself do that. A man will find out how to.
He's a male, but he's not a man.
Yeah, he just has XY chromosomes.
Word up. That's a good way. All right, bet. So we in there with that.
So I don't feel there's no reason to put extra on it, and I don't feel there's no reason for a whole movement to be started, and especially for it to cause beef.
It's beef?
Well, look.
Yeah, there's issue. People.
One of the things that he always be talking about though is like, okay, can this high value man, command the respect and attention of others, men and women, based off of his lifestyle?
On some bisexual shit?
No, like when you walk in the room, there's certain men, certain like alpha characteristics that will demand the respect of everybody in that room, man or woman.
That shit get me to talk about niggas. What are those characteristics? Because when I see, and that's funny how a nigga walk into the room, I already be like, this motherfucker here. I'll be like,
if you carry yourself a certain way, you command the respect of the room. When you start speaking, people are listening because you're someone that it's just the way you carry yourself.
Yeah.
People listen to when you talk. Like when somebody is just loudmouth and being, they not really about what they say. You can tell, like the energy they give off. You can just tell. So one of the things that he mentions about high value men, they command that type of respect. I hope he said that particular thing.
But even when, because I've heard that example, and even when it talks about that example, I always have a little pushback because if I have a certain type of value, if I'm a man, if you're giving a speech, I'm gonna keep my mouth closed.
That's respect.
I know when to speak and when not to speak.
So it's
a manhood. It's a manhood thing.
It still goes back to the original.
Like, how do you know? You have to be a man and you have to conduct yourself in that way. There's no high value man. It's either you're a man or you're not.
Yeah, you bitch ass.
But what are you at the end of the day? Because high value man is you're just adding on extra turns to it to make yourself feel better. It's the same thing when people add. So
it sounds like that nigga really just talking about who get the most hoes type shit.
You want to add.
You saying that shit like
See, I
who's the man that all the women want? That's the high value, because that's what it sounds like.
So you really want to pick the cream of the crop? Like, don't nobody want the bottom barrel.
But that's subjective to what you want as an individual. Because I'm not gonna speak for women, but there are some women who want a man who can hunt. There are some women who want a rich man. There are some women who want there's some men who want to be this. There's some men who want to be. But as long as your morals and values line up the way they should be, and you don't shake on them.
So okay.
You can't fold on your morals and values. That's what I'm saying. Like
That
as a
makes sense.
man, you be a man. A high value man is somebody who stands on your own principles and nothing wavers you on that, and you know that you're doing it for a righteous reason.
Okay.
High value man is redundant. Same thing as when you hear social justice. There should be no adjectives added on to anything like justice because that should be it.
Mm-hmm.
Straight, just clear across the board. So I want to take it back to when you talking about like the high value. So I always put shit in the business context, almost like in supply and demand. With what you're speaking on, how many people, how many males, how many men hold those characteristics?
And if I say for the percentage for the world or the United States,
Just
anything
know,
like
like, this is an estimate. There's no like concrete evidence in your mind.
percentage wise, how many men don't waver on their values and actually stand on things they do justly and righteously? Oh, I say 27%.
27% of males. That's pretty low. All right. So how many women are here in that group, right? How many women, single women, with 27% of those niggas? You know what I'm saying? How many women is it, you think, in comparison?
They don't waver on what they believe in and
Like
stuff like that.
who see value in that? That's the type of man that they want. How many women do you think are out here like that?
85%.
85%.
83,
80
to 85%, yes.
Boom. Trying to go after this.
Materialistic.
27% of men.
Materialistic.
Right? Materialistic, what you mean?
Materialistic people.
It's supply and demand. The supply is not there. So the value goes up.
The only reason why.
Facts. He said that actually.
But the only reason, yeah, that's what I'm saying. The only reason why I say that is because what you actually deem is valuable.
So that's why it's
But most women only deal with what is valuable as something shiny that can get bought.
Bro, so it's some women out there probably have that same mentality, right? But it's way more women than it is those men that you're speaking on.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. It still adds high value to it because the supply is so low.
I can understand that.
So there's still, how are these women gonna get the attention of that?
They only deal with the same type of men or the same man. Same thing that statistically speaking that people don't even understand. 10 to 20% of the men actually have sex.
10 to 20. Is that
10 to 20, like,
not having sex?
yes, 10 to 20% of men actually have sex with these women out here. So these women are actually sharing men.
They're all sharing the 27%.
Whoa.
Cause that's true. Like, look at.
That's crazy.
That's true.
How many men do you know have 8 baby mamas? Like 5, 6, 4, 3, 4, 5, 6 baby mamas.
Yeah, them niggas drawing. Nah.
No, but I'm saying, think about the famous men that you see. How many famous men have you seen that have multiple babies?
Because they can afford that shit.
Not just afford, just because these are the men that women are choosing. They know these women knew that Nick Cannon had multiple baby mamas. These women knew that Lil Wayne had multiple baby mamas. No, but I'm saying, but these it's been shown before, so that's why it's happening that way because these women are just dealing with the same man. But do you consider these men high value men? Because what do you consider values? And that's what people have to actually understand and actually pinpoint.
The real poll should be, can this nigga change a tire?
Word up, it should be more tangible.
Can he just be there for your kid?
What's being there for them damn kids?
Actually seeing your child on each and every birthday, each and every holiday. Being there for the first and last baseball game.
Damn.
Being there for graduation. All the graduations.
All of them, even from kindergarten?
All of them.
That's a lot, bro.
So what is it being a high value man or is it just being a man? What makes that?
That's deep. That's real.
Is it the same thing or is it something different? Because a man shouldn't just be someone who stands peeing up just because they can buy a beer. A man should be somebody with values. Should be somebody with morals. Should be somebody who worked to make himself valuable.
I agree to that shit.
You know what's crazy? I also think that a lot of men don't realize their value. Like we lowball ourselves and don't even realize that we're valuable. And that would change that 27% probably.
I'm not gonna lie. That's a whole nother conversation. Bruh, and I wish we had time for it. But we'll go ahead and wrap it up. But appreciate that, and you should be here to have that conversation with us, Aaron, Chris, appreciate you for sitting down for another episode of Untitled Discussion. I'm your host, TJ Evans. Please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the page, hit the bell for notifications. Warrior Family Studios, I'm sitting here. Make sure you follow these fine gentlemen right here sitting with me. Y'all stay safe. Peace. No, that is dead serious. That is a conversation, man. Like, are you
That's why I was talking about the